What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee Yee podcast. My name is Hayden. I've got Parker over here in the corner.
What's happening?
And we've got Granger joining us today as well.
Yo, I feel like like when the Bucks played in their own stadium for the Super Bowl. That's kind of what I feel like. I'm like the visiting team today, but I'm in my home stadium.
It's like home field advantage a little bit. Like you're not walking into a podcast room that you've never been in.
I did 2 podcasts in here this morning already, so.
Yeah, so you're on your third one today.
But I'm
so
a visiting I'm a visiting team on this one.
Yeah.
Because this is a shared space right now, and yours will be done. You're building a studio at your house.
Yeah.
That'll be done in April.
Hopefully, the end of April, 1st of May, the Granger Smith podcast will be completely in my house. And then this will be all Yee Yee podcast plus Brian's main office.
That's going to be kind of sad. Are you not going to come to the farm every day anymore?
I've been coming here every day since the you know what hit the world, and
yeah, you have
the word to not be named to possibly be demonetized on YouTube. So I've been coming here every day without being on tour, which is so maybe a little sad. I'll still come here all the time. I'll just do the podcast and music stuff there, and then I'll be itching to get out of my house.
Well, Hayden always talks about how you can hear the entire conversation of every podcast episode that you do because Hayden shares a wall with you. So,
which is interesting because sometimes they get super deep.
Well, and it's not even. What's funny is it's not even really a wall. Like you pulled out the entire wall and put all this put all just these random pieces of wood, and then I actually knocked out my window. So we had like 4 layers of wood, and now we're down to 2. So you can hear every single thing that comes from either side.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of hit it on it. The Super Bowl. We're filming on Tuesday. The Super Bowl happens Sunday night. And if you had a thought, in my opinion, that Tom Brady wasn't the best football player to ever play the game, I think that game should have proven to you that you're wrong. He's got to be the best, don't you think?
If you don't think that, then you're an idiot.
Okay, so we're hearing it here first.
Sorry, and the reason I even say it that way is because a lot of people get really pissed off at me. Like the other day, I put on my Twitter, number 12, symbol GOAT again, and people inevitably every year when this happens, they're like, "Oh, come on, not you, Granger." And I'm like, guys, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not a Buccaneers fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I have been my whole life. And it's terrible to be a Cowboys fan. I'm not a bandwagon fan. I don't jump on teams just because they're good. But I could acknowledge when I think we're witnessing the greatest quarterback probably that any of us will ever see in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to argue. Like, make an argument.
Yeah.
Make an argument. Throw stats at me from somebody else. So, yeah, I don't know why there's such a resistance. My next-door neighbors, for instance, were like, he's just so arrogant.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's like human nature. I could see that. You don't like arrogant people. I personally don't think Tom Brady's arrogant. I just think he's a winner. And there's a difference between a confident winner and someone that's all talk and can't deliver. But if that's not a testament, like you said, Hayden, to go to a whole different system away from Belichick and to win.
In your first year.
In your first year. I'm not necessarily a fan of Brady's teams. I'm just a fan of winners.
Yeah. And
he's such a winner.
Yeah, and it's so crazy to just watch him at this age still being able to do it. We were talking, I mean, he's never like his story's crazy because the first Super Bowl that he was ever in, he was a backup to Drew Bledsoe, and then he just got thrown in a couple games out from the Super Bowl and then goes off and wins and then just has this insane career. But then the question comes up, he won, will he go out on top? Because you had like Troy Aikman, you had John Elway, you had a lot of these players go out on top. And so I wonder, I don't think he's going to retire. I think that there's something different about him. I think he's built differently. I think if he can still win and he can still compete, the competitor in him refuses to quit no matter what age he is. So I don't know. I mean, that's the next question is, do you think he's gonna keep playing? Like, is he gonna be playing football next year?
I'll tell you this: we've all seen the players get on the podium, and when then they say, "I don't know, I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna talk to my wife, talk to some other." That means they're not coming back. Mm-hmm. He didn't hesitate. He goes, "Oh, we're coming back. Yeah, we're coming back." I believe him. I believe him. We've all seen, Tony Romo was like that. He was like, I'm going to talk to some friends, and what he means is I'm going to talk to ESPN or CBS and see if there's an opportunity for me to pivot into analyst and see how much money they could pay. That's probably what that means. And I don't think there's anything wrong with leaving the field and doing that. But Tom Brady's not ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be crazy, and it'll be crazy to see what he does next after this. But
Parker,
I think he's here.
Can you say that story that you and Parker, or you and Tyler always tell about when Tom Brady started in the locker room, the workout story?
The Rodney Harrison story that we talk about all the time.
Yeah,
Tyler talked about it on this
Tyler
podcast?
would probably be able to tell it a little bit better than me, but it was when Tom Brady was a rookie, and Rodney Harrison was always prided himself on being the first one to the workout facility to work out in the morning. And so he would always get there and start working out. I think it was 6 a.m. He got there at 6 a.m. And he said he got there and this other guy was working out. And he's like, who the heck is this new guy? And like introduced himself. He's like, my name's Tom. He's like, okay, nice to meet you.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so who's this rookie that thinks he's so good coming and working out before everybody else? And so Rodney's like, tomorrow I'm going to go in at I think 5:30. Or maybe it was 5.
I think it was even earlier.
He's like, I'm going to go in at 5 tomorrow. And then he goes in there, and then Tom's in there again.
Already working out.
Yeah, already working out. And he's like, what's up, dude? And Tom's like, what's up, man? And so they just kind of play it off. And so he's like, tomorrow I'm going to go at 4 a.m. And so Rodney the next day goes in at 4 a.m. to try to get there before Tom. And as he's walking up, Tom has his towel over his shoulder all sweaty, going, have a good workout, man, because Tom just got done working out.
At 4 a.m.
At 4, just to show that he was going to outwork him.
And I think, and he says at that moment, I knew that guy was built different. There was something about that guy. He was a freak, just a freak.
My new favorite thing to say when someone like Granger said that someone said that Tom was arrogant, and they've obviously never met him before. I was at a buddy's house for the Super Bowl, and his wife goes talking about the weekend during the Super Bowl.
The singer.
The halftime show. Yeah. The halftime show talking about, I don't know what his name is, but the weekend. And she goes, I kind of liked his hair the way he had it before. And he goes, I'll tell him you said that. So anytime someone says that about someone that they never met before, she'll be like, I'll tell him you said that. Thanks. Yeah, they were really wondering about your opinion.
It's like whenever the quarterback throws an interception and you're sitting on your couch eating and you're like, what a loser.
Yeah.
It's like,
why would you throw that?
Yeah.
We've all been guilty of that.
Yeah, the 300-pound guy saying the Victoria's Secret model's nose is too big.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Why would you call that on 4th and 1? Why would you call that? I think they kind of researched this defense a little more than you. We've all been there. I do it constantly.
Yeah, it's always happening.
You also
as a
deal
Cowboys
with it
fan.
constantly in your comments.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Cool. That's Super Bowl talk. I would not be surprised if the Bucs are back again, but now that season is over, now I cry for the next few months until football comes back. But I'm focusing my attention on the Dallas Cowboys next year and Dak Prescott being back and hoping and praying.
This is a big deal to Hayden. For those that don't know, like Hayden literally doesn't know what he will be like. I don't remember what I do on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
Like once football season's over, it's like it's a big life change for you.
Well, I mean, I love the game of baseball, but baseball, whenever you get into those dog days of summer and that's the only thing on TV, man, it's really boring. And I mean, baseball is just super boring, and I'm a Texas Rangers fan, and they've been terrible the last few years, so it just makes it for a really, really long season. So,
and you know what I'm really looking forward to this next season too is having crowd in the stands.
Yeah,
that really affected me.
Of course,
watching those West Coast games, the Pac-12 games when no one was there, watching USC and UCLA or whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, it's really hard for me to get into it. So I was like half into football this year just because of that.
Do you think it'll be back full capacity?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I hope so.
I think so. I don't know why. There's no reason why. How many months is that? That's at least 9 months from now.
September start.
9 months from now. And things are already looking a lot better. I think there's too much money involved, too, for all these towns and stadiums and owners to lose all over again. I think they'll make sure that it works. They'll figure out a way.
Yeah, it's a big difference between the New York Giants missing fans and Alabama Crimson Tide. And I know that there's donors involved in college and everything, but it's a big difference because Tuscaloosa or College Station or Oxford, Mississippi, they thrive on every game day. Like you get hypothetically one home game canceled, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars into those communities.
Yeah. There's
so
only
they
one
struggle.
town you could name in the NFL. There's only one town that I've been to and seen that it's affected probably is Green Bay.
Yeah, I knew you were going to
more
say
than
that.
any other. Green Bay feels more like a college town than any other pro city that I've been to.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. Well, that's Super Bowl talk. I'm going to kick it over to you on the status of Yee Apparel, our shipping. What's the outlook? Well, I'll start with that, and then we'll kind of talk about some new products that are coming out in the next week and what we're looking forward to.
Well, as of the day that this releases, Wednesday, we should be back to 2 to 3 day processing time or less.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we should be really back to normal, and then we're planning on doing the winter restock today. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday, then it should be around 9 or 10 a.m. that we'll do the big restock. And then we're talking about releasing these. I have a Flex Fit hat on, probably release that, and the new Dale Brisby shirts. Anything else? Am I missing anything else? Oh yeah, dog collars and leashes.
I didn't want to. I
Yeah,
like had
we
to
have so much
whisper.
going on. I forget. Yeah, we have some really cool, high quality camo dog collars, and then we have a very small number of leashes because I didn't know if anybody would
Are
buy
those
them.
the ones that my dogs have now from
Mhm.
Yeah.
that I showed on the Smiths?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a few people have seen sneak peeks of those, and that'll be dropping at 10 a.m. Central today. So if you're listening to this will be released on Wednesday. All of that stuff is going to be released today. And the thing about our restocks is that it's a lot of leftover items, so those quantities are low sometimes. So just be aware that a lot of those things will sell out. And the thing that I always tell people is that we're getting ready for the spring, and so we're trying to clear everything out. So this will be the last time that you ever get a chance to have any of that stuff. Like a lot of this stuff, you'll never have a chance to get any of it again. As you know, with our business, a lot of y'all know that we don't bring many of these items back. So this will be the last time. New products we talked about. Then the spring, I guess the spring launch as well. The spring launch is what a lot of people have been asking about. We just keep grilling that one. That one's March 19th.
Yes, that sounds right.
March 19th.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorites from that one? What about this one?
That's spring. It's a spring release. That's actually the only one that Granger's seen so far.
I'm sorry if you're listening to this because Granger's showing the hat to the camera right
Yeah.
now, but
Yeah.
we've got a Yee Farm and Ranch hat that's coming out. What all do we have coming from that launch?
For spring?
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 long sleeve performance fishing shirts. We have 2 for the first time ever long sleeve performance fishing hoodies that a lot of people have been requesting that have the hood that you just put over with your hat on, so it really you don't have to worry about your neck or anything when you're out fishing or mowing or anything. A lot of people like to just wear those anytime they're going to be in the sun or working. And then we also have 2 women's tanks, 2 women's shirts, 4 men's t-shirts, a women's bikini 2-piece, and a women's 1-piece that's been requested forever.
Ooh,
That are going to
a
be
long time people have been asking.
Yeah, those should be Amber designed those, so those should be good for women of all body types. And then we also have 2 more leggings, 2 different types of leggings coming out, and I think that's it off the top
Do
of
we
my
have
head.
a cooler
And then like
coming
5 or 6 new hats.
Do we have a cooler coming out, or is that summer?
Honestly, I don't remember. I think that may be summer.
It's really funny. Parker, since he deals with products, but sometimes we'll just forget something that we ordered, and then it shows up, and it's always the best. We're like, oh wow, we forgot we got this one, because we've got so many things going on for these launches and so many items coming through.
Yeah, it'd be good.
One thing I was going to ask you about, Granger, is this episode will be the last episode that comes out before Valentine's Day, and I was listening to Country Boy Love this morning, of course. It came up on my shuffle. And I was wondering if Spotify knew that Valentine's Day was coming up, and it knows that Granger and Earl are in my music rotation, and it just threw in like a love song or the Country Boy Love song. But how has that song been? Obviously you've had Earl's released different songs. How has that song been like related to Valentine's Day? I know that we now do a Valentine's Day bundle, and how many years has it been going on? I mean,
this is the third year.
Third year. Okay, I thought it was the fourth. So, like, do you see a lot of people requesting that song or like asking you about that song whenever this time of the year starts rolling around? I always see stuff on Earl's socials about that. Like, how does that work?
Or is it more like happens like that stutter type requests? Because I mean, there's got to be dozens and dozens of people who were engaged to happens like that on stage.
I never really thought of Country Boy Love as a Valentine's Day song. It's never really looked upon as a love song in my group of songs. More like you said, Parker, happens like that. It's probably the one. You're in it. I hear a lot of. Happens like that's probably my most requested and popular love song. There was a time when we had a proposal on our stage, probably 2018 or 17, one of those 2 years, when like every single show was a proposal.
Wow.
We got so good at doing it that I didn't even need to know if there was one before I started the show. Chris would pipe in my ears at the appropriate time. Proposal tonight. That's all he needed. That's all I needed to know. And he had it down to like a system where he would get the couple up, and the boy would always tell the girl he won some kind of VIP side stage experience. Chris would tell him to tell her that. So it's like, come on up. We get to watch the stage from the side. And then during happens like that, during the breakdown, we have an extended amount of time where I can go forever and just talk or let the band play. It could just loop over and over. So if there's a proposal, all I need to know is, here they are. And I just go, we got some special guests. Come on up here, man. What does it feel like to be on stage? And I'd hand him the mic. And then he would just like, Stacy, we've been through a lot together. And I always wanted to like.
Yeah, it's the biggest moment of his life up to that point. It's crazy.
Yeah. Does he know going up there that he's going to get the mic, or does he just think he's going to pop down on one knee and it's going to be happily ever after?
Chris would tell him.
Okay.
Didn't you stop giving them the mic because it was just too awkward and you just let them do it?
No, the crowd loves it, man.
Really?
Like the crowd, that would ended up being like always one of the biggest and best parts of our entire set.
Yeah.
Because the crowd would just love it. And as soon as he'd get on one knee, the crowd would just go crazy every time. And then, ironically, I would always say, now that's some Country Boy Love right there. So tying that song
there
in.
We go.
The original question, I would tie that song in. Funny thing about circling back to Country Boy Love, I have tried to replace that song in our set list for 5 years. Been like, all right, cool. We don't have to play Country Boy Love. People are probably tired of it by now. And it's always been around the number 2 song in our set in order, like the second song. So it's like we come out of the box, we play something like Holler, and then boom, right into Country Boy Love, like number 2 or 3, somewhere in there. And it's just so good at the top of the set because it's like for anyone that comes to the show and they're expecting that redneck mentality of Earl Dibbles, that answers their question right off the bat if they came to the right place. We go right into Country Boy Love, and it's like, boom, we're here. We're at the right place. And so I haven't been able to replace it.
Wow. Was that the second Earl Dibbles song that came out?
Yeah, it came out on Dirt Road Driveway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That music video is one of the funniest music videos I think I've ever seen. What's even funnier about it is that it's like, to me, I don't know any of the other girls, but to me, it's like 4 random girls and then Amber. It just cracks me up.
Tyler's girlfriend.
Oh.
It was Tyler's girlfriend, Haley.
That's right.
So it was Amber, Amber's best friend, Christine, Tyler's girlfriend, Haley, and then a random. I hope she's not listening. I hope you're not.
Just one random.
They're random.
How did y'all find one random? Like, you want to come out to this ranch out in the middle of nowhere and film a video for Earl Dibbles Jr.? It doesn't matter if you haven't heard of him. How'd y'all find them? Do you know?
Tyler probably knows that. Tyler did it. He found her on Instagram or something.
Golly.
Yeah, once again, I don't think she's listening to this podcast, but I'm sorry if you are that. You mean way more to us than that.
All right, we're going to go to break real quick. We'll be back in just a second.
What's up, guys? This is Parker. Thanks for listening to the Yee Yee podcast. As you guys know, we do a discount code every episode that you can use. There's only 5 available. So the first people to use that, the first 5 are going to get a discount for, how much off is it, Hayden?
10%.
It's 10% off. Use code Granger. That's today's code. Granger to get 10% off at yeeyee.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to do our power rankings now, and because Valentine's Day is this Sunday, we're going to do a Valentine's-themed power rankings. So today we're going to do the worst Valentine's Day gifts that you can possibly receive. There's going to be a few of these that may offend some people, and I really hope that my girlfriend isn't getting me any of these.
This should be interesting because we have myself, who has not had a girlfriend in 10 plus years. We have you, who's been in a steady relationship for a few years now. And then we have Granger, who has been married for 10 plus years. So we got all walks of life here talking about the Valentine's Day gifts. My first one is going to be the forgot a gift in general. That's my first.
I mean, you never even had a chance to do that, though. So how do you know what it's like?
I would think. People have told me. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one where you're in a lot. Well, I'll kick that to you. Like, if you do that, how much trouble are you in?
So I'm different because our anniversary is on February 11th.
Oh.
So from day one, we've always been like, we don't need to do anything for Valentine's Day. We're gonna so it's coming up this week. Here in a few days, we're gonna be. This podcast comes out Wednesday, so tomorrow we're gonna go to eat in Austin, like nice Mexican food restaurant, have someone babysit. That's an amazing time. Like for me and Amber to have no kids interrupting any kind of conversation is huge. We're not really, like, neither one of us is, gifts is not our love language. So it really does not matter.
How is it now compared? I mean, it's got to just be so crazy how much a relationship changes over a decade. Like, how would it compare now to your very first ever Valentine's Day?
Definitely different. I mean, because you want to do everything right at the beginning, but then you learn their love language. Like Mom, her love language is still gifts. Like one of her love languages is still gifts. So Dad used to always get her stuff and not ever forget. Amber, it's not gifts is not important. Hers is acts of service. So literally, like, she's out of town right now. So when she comes back, having everything clean and spotless and bed made and trash is taken out and swept up and no toys on the ground, that is way better than any gift I could actually get her. At the beginning, you don't know that as much. So you're just kind of shooting in the dark. And I think always the best gifts are the ones that they could just tell you thought about it for a while. So I remember when I first started dating Amber, I was wanting to do everything right. So on my phone, I had literally on my notes, I would write anything she was really interested in.
I do that.
And a little list. So if she would ever be like, oh, I love blueberries, I would like write that down. Blueberries. And I had like a running list. So then you could just reference that list when an important day is coming up.
Yeah, that's also the list that you find like 6 months later and you're like, why did I just type blueberries in this list?
Right?
There's just nothing there. Well, it's also nice to have, it sucks if it's you. Like if you have a birthday right next to Christmas, it sucks because everyone's like, I'll just wrap up the gifts and give you one. That's not how this works. I'm perfect. I have a birthday in July. So it's like awesome. But that is the thing about Valentine's Day is you kind of get out lucky because you just wrap them up together.
Fun fact, that's the last thing that Christopher McCandless wrote in his diary before he died from Into the Wild was beautiful blueberries.
Oh, beautiful blueberries. That's right.
For those who have read that book or seen that movie Into the Wild.
If you just say beautiful blueberries, you know if someone's read the book or not.
Depressing, man. That movie and book. Ugh.
Okay, so my first pick for the worst Valentine's Day gift is passes to those places where you paint and drink wine at the same time.
That's so specific.
Absolute worst. I will never go to one of those places. If you're listening to this, Taylor, we're never going. Those are just the worst place. I don't want to paint, and I really don't even want to drink wine. I'd rather drink beer. But if I have to, I will. But I'm definitely not going to do both of them at the same time. Don't take me to those places. There's a million other things I'd rather do on my Valentine's Day than paint.
That's a good one.
But if she loves it, then that could be your gift to her, is enduring that.
Well, no. I'm smart. I will spend extra money and get like a few other passes because I could buy 2 passes for me and her, or I could buy 3 passes for her and 2 girlfriends to go, and then I just get to do whatever I want. I'll spend the extra money all day to not go paint on Valentine's Day.
That's a good point. I like it.
Okay, you're up.
Man, I don't know. I walked into this question. I was not prepared. I've been out of the game so long. There's a million bad gifts. There's only a couple of good ones, you know.
Okay, then this should be easy. Worst gift.
What is there a particular gift that stood out that was bad that you got in the past,
In
or
my
one
life?
that you regretted giving looking back?
Man. I don't know. I can't. I mean, I've had some really bad girlfriends, so that was a bad gift in itself. Actually, all my girlfriends were pretty bad until Amber. So
their presence, is that your first pick? A bad girl's presence, just being around.
yeah, presence.
Yeah,
with the C, with the C.
Just you. Yeah.
you.
Just you in general.
Yeah,
Being in a bad relationship is a terrible
the worst
gift.
presents are your presents. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be my answer. Yeah, I hate Valentine's Day, man.
Yeah,
let's just
it's a
be
corporate
honest.
holiday.
I hate it. If you want to go eat, good luck. Everything's booked. You're going to spend way too much money on roses. So that's another thing. Amber loves Gerber daisies. So that's like the big flower for her. So on our anniversary, I could get away with like really nice Gerber daisies and don't have to deal with all the roses that are out of stock. So that works out good too.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's the out of season stuff.
Yeah.
What you got, Park, for your next pick?
I'm going to say the thing that one person really wants to do that the other person doesn't care about, and they're just giving it as a gift, as an excuse to go do it himself. When a guy gives the girl like 2 tickets to like the Mavs game or something. It's like, we're going to the game. And it's like, she obviously does not want to do that. Or when a girl gets a guy like couples massage.
Yeah, like a massage.
Or like facials. And it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of about, if I had ever been in a relationship, I hear it's about thinking about the other person. So
I got, for Mother's Day one year, I got my mom tickets to the Ranger game, and her birthday is June 6th. And it was 103 degrees, and she was so miserable. But it was like a big game. I think the Yankees were in town, and I was so hyped to go. And I remember thinking, this is probably not a good idea. So it's the exact same type thing. My second pick is a star. You know how you can buy those stars online for like $50, and then there's literally a star in the sky that's named after you? Have you ever seen this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Worst gift ever. Like, I don't care if there's a star named after me that I have to get like a $600 telescope just to see. I don't care. Like, I don't want a star named after me. Just buy me beer or something like that.
It's funny because I actually bought a rifle.
I thought you were about to say you bought a star for Amber.
No, I bought a deer rifle yesterday.
Okay.
Because it was like wrong place, wrong time. I went to pick up something at the gun shop, and then they had the exact rifle I'd been looking at online. And I was
to.
So I was like, dang it, that's it. Like chambered in the exact thing I wanted. So I got it, and then I texted Amber. I was like, hey, for Valentine's Day, you got me a rifle. Thank you. And she's like, oh, good, babe. So there you go.
It's perfect whenever you literally pick out your own gift.
Yeah.
And that she's okay with it.
That's 11 years of marriage.
Well, wait, that can just be his next pick, is a rifle. Well, that's the worst gift. Sorry, we're doing the worst. That's not a good one. Well, do you have any other bad ones, or should I just
have any, man?
it could be the presents for all 3.
I'm failing you guys.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We've only got 2 left, so it gives more for Parker. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to think. I was thinking about that episode of The Office where Phyllis just keeps getting gifts from Bob Vance all day. And then who's the one?
Yeah, Brian's in the corner, our editor.
Fun fact, Brian has won an office trivia night by himself against teams of like 5 or 6 people all together. And Brian went by himself and won.
What a dork.
That's how much he knows The Office. Was it Pam?
Pam is the one that's sad.
Oh, yeah, because she wasn't getting anything from Roy. That's right. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to say if you're going to get flowers, then get nice flowers. Don't cheap out on the flowers.
Like don't go to the grocery store, go to the florist.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's exactly
so
what I was
I'd
gonna say.
I'd
Like
say
the
cheap.
flowers from like CVS.
Yeah, and in like
She's
a
gonna
really,
know.
in like a really cheesy like green vase or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, she's gonna know. That also goes for those like 1-800-Flowers. Like, she's gonna know if you do 1-800-Flowers. Like, she's just gonna know. It's gonna come in a cardboard box. It's gonna look like it's been in a cardboard box for 3 days, and USPS probably threw it around like their entire facilities. It's not gonna look good. My last pick. Oh man, a coffee mug. Coffee mug. Terrible.
For the guy or the girl, or
Just
either
in
way,
general.
either
Like
way.
I see. Well, and this also goes. I see the coffee mug a lot. That's personalized. That's got a picture of the two of y'all. Like I'm gonna be honest. The last thing I want to do is bring a picture of you and I on a coffee mug to my office, so all the boys at work can make fun of me.
True.
Like, can you imagine if I
True.
walked into a 9 a.m. Monday morning meeting, like literally the day after not Thanksgiving, the day after Valentine's Day on Monday, y'all would just stare at me like, what are you doing? Just you and your girl? That's not cool. I don't want that gift ever. Please don't get that.
This on another side note, I'm like your side note guy.
Yeah.
Another side note for Valentine's Day for me, because I said all this stuff about Amber and how it's our anniversary, so I don't really have to deal with it. Gifts is not her love language, so I don't have to deal with it as much. But that doesn't get me a free pass from Valentine's Day because I have a daughter. So with London, I have to really focus my attention on her for Valentine's Day, because I have to make it awesome for her so that some dude down the road doesn't beat me. So I need to always make sure that I'm giving her awesome stuff, flowers, heartfelt card, maybe I'll take her to dinner or something, so that when she's 15, she doesn't get flowers and go, this is the first time I've ever gotten flowers. I think I love this guy. I want her to
She has high standards.
Yeah, I want her to think, Dad always gives me better flowers than this.
That's a good
my
point.
goal.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, that's why you're sitting over there and he's sitting right here, and I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
What about I've always thought about like London gets a day or whatever for Valentine's Day. What does Lincoln get? Like it kind of sucks being a boy.
Spanking.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'm on that boy all the time.
Lincoln's gift is seeing the example that his father is setting for him.
true,
Oh,
but he
what
doesn't
a
get his
gift.
own day. Yeah,
What a
like you think him at his age realizes that?
It's not always the case because I'll give you an example. Last night, Amber's out of town and we always do let's watch a movie. Movies are so fun to watch now because you could get anything you want on
Yeah, it's right
your
there.
Fire Stick or your Apple TV. So I don't know any good little girl movies. I just don't. And I'm not talking about like animated Disney. We're past that age.
I was about to say Paw Patrol.
She's 9 years old. Like she's not going to go
Yeah.
for Cinderella anymore.
She's in that weird in between stage.
But-
But she can't watch PG-13 or
Yes.
anything, but it's still like she doesn't want to watch cartoons.
But Lincoln,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got 100 deep list of movies. So last night,
all the Rockies.
all the Rockies, all the Batmans,
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
X-Men's and Avengers, and there's a million movies that I grew up with. I'm like, about to introduce him to this. So London hardly ever likes any of that stuff. She's like, another fighting movie?
Right.
I like fighting again? So it's hard for me. Like last night was Transformers.
Oh,
Like Lincoln had never seen the first
original.
Transformers. And I know there's been a million since then. Michael Bay has made like
yeah.
Transformers 12, and I haven't seen any of them, but that first one is still really good. And so Lincoln's just like glued to the screen. And he was on Batman. We watched the Michael Keaton Batman last week, and then we started watching the Batman Begins series, the new series with what's his name,
Christian Bale. That's
which
so
is
good.
so good.
So good.
And Lincoln's just glued to the screen, and London's like,
Nice.
so boring. Oh, it's scary.
What's funny is when Granger shows Lincoln those movies that Granger really cares about, he just gives him the Cliff Notes version because he doesn't want to like leave a bad taste in his
Yeah,
mouth.
of course.
Because Lincoln's young enough to where he'll get bored easily.
Mhm.
And so I was watching like Rocky with him the other day, and Granger, and then like this fighting scene ended, and it like went to Rocky and Adrian just talking in the kitchen or something. Granger started fast forwarding it, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "We just fast forward through the boring parts." And so Granger just fast forwards through everything that's not fighting in those movies.
Did you know that there used to be? That reminds me. Did you know that there used to be a website, and it may still be around? Like I think it was like whenshouldIpee.com or something. And it was literally, if you go to the movie theater and you have to pee in the middle of the movie, when should you get up? When is it the worst?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember I would look it up before I went, and I would start. I went through this weird phase where I would actually do the timer. And so if I ever had to pee, I'd be like, well, 57 minutes in, like now's my chance. I got 6 minutes. I got to go.
That's awesome.
And some guy's making tons of money off ads off that website.
Well, we should. Have you given all yours now?
Yeah, we're done.
So we should say, if whatever platform you're watching or listening on, comment below worst Valentine's Day gift. We'll probably get a lot of ideas from the comments that we missed.
Mm-hmm.
Someone out there listening is just like dying to tell us
Oh yeah,
the worst gift that they got or gave, and we'll know that.
yeah. I'm sure there's been some bad ones out there. Well, we got a few. Continuing with the Valentine's Day theme, we've got a few questions. We opened this up the other day on our socials for some different Valentine's Day themed questions, and there's some really good ones here. So I'm just going to go down the line, and we'll all kind of give a little short answer. First one is, my girlfriend loves me, but is disgusted by my skull habit. That's dip, if y'all don't know. How do I get her to understand?
Well, how much do you love her? That's question
Well,
one.
you
right?
got to get her to swap dip with you first. And then she's going to get addicted, and now y'all can just buy dip together.
Well, the question is, how much do you care about her? That's the question. If you really like, if she's your future wife, then you gotta like Chris Lee. He never does it around Allison ever. So just brush your teeth, and you know, like you have. If there's inevitably something she does that you don't like.
So use that against her?
No. No.
I was waiting for him to say that.
Use that to realize that all the relationships are give and take, you know. Yeah. So if she truly hates it, you're not going to convince her. There's not a magical way to convince her that this.
She's going to wake up one day.
Yeah, just say, babe, I know you don't like it, but I'll respect that. So every time I leave the room, I'll make sure you're not around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make sure we don't have to kiss. Come on, that's a small sacrifice.
Yeah, super small. Next one is, what do I get my Yee Yee boy for Valentine's Day? What you got, Parker? What would you want?
Well, we're an apparel company. That's an easy.
I'd
Yeah,
want
Yee apparel.
the Yee Yee winter launch restock and this candle right here with the personalized card. I don't know. The best gifts are the ones that she would know that we would have no idea.
True.
That's an inside
Yeah, it's
joke.
different
Gifts
for
are
you.
always the best, I would say. Whatever he likes.
I got a camo backpack the other day as a gift, and it's always those things. I don't know about y'all, but there's certain things I just refuse to buy for myself. Like, I know I need it, but I just won't do it. One of the things is I have never really bought cologne for myself, so every time someone buys it for me, I'm like, yes, because I know I need some, but I just never.
Good one.
So if there's anything, I will say from a guy's perspective, if there's anything that you know that he won't buy for himself, but that he needs or wants, that's always like perfect gift in my mind.
Cologne's a good one because we don't have that much of an opinion.
Yeah.
If the girl really likes some smell,
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool,
That's a
we'll
good
go
one.
for it.
Yeah.
Backpack. Don't ever buy me a backpack. I'm very particular.
Oh, see, I'm not.
I have to know. Like, I have to research what pockets are where and why I'm going to need them. Brian knows this. Like you can't just get me a backpack. Like, you didn't think about that. I needed a pocket for this thing, or it doesn't have a water bottle place. Like, what am I going to do with my water bottle? There's too many factors. That's too personal.
True.
Cologne. I like that.
There you go. Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to let you answer this one first. What's the saddest country song to listen to if you're single on Valentine's Day?
Oh, there's a million.
I know.
I would go to something like George Strait, Nobody's Right Mind Would Have Left Her. Or, I would go to George because it's fun to listen to sad songs on Valentine's Day. Like, I like that feeling. It's, get a cold beer and listen to George Strait. Like, there's a million of them. It kind of depends on how you broke up or how you left it with the last one.
Yeah.
In what direction, but
I've always thought that the saddest song, like the very first time I ever heard this particular song I'm about to say, I remember thinking, man, that guy's hurting.
yeah.
And it's What I'd Say by Earl Thomas Conley.
Oh yeah.
That's like the all-time sad song. The other day I was
Yeah.
working out and it came on, and I was like, I'm about to call my girlfriend from kindergarten. Like, this song is sad.
Yeah, you should. That's what I was gonna say. You showed me that a couple of weeks ago. I've never heard that one before.
Really?
I've been on an old country trip.
What
recently.
about Parker? What about Doug Stone? Better off in a pine box.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be better off in a pine box on a slow train back to Georgia,
Golly.
in the gray walls of a prison doing time. I think I'd rather die and go to hell and face the devil than to lie here with you and him together on my mind. That's the chorus.
Good gosh.
He lives right down the road too from us. Doug Stone. You got one?
Does he really?
Yeah, he's in Bastrop. Or he was, at least about
Oh,
2
I gotta
years
go
ago or
see
so.
him.
What about
You Look So Good in Love?
I was
too.
gonna say that was on my
man.
list. He Stopped Loving Her Today is an all-time sad country song.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This one's good. Is it wrong to ask your ex for the Yee Yee gear you know she got you for Valentine's Day before y'all broke up? I think this is kind of like a hoodie. Like whenever your girlfriend has your hoodie and then y'all break up, that hoodie ain't yours no more. I think that Yee Yee apparel now belongs to her, right? Or is that your Yee apparel? She got it for you, but then y'all broke up.
I'm confused.
She got him Yee Yee apparel.
But it was at her house.
She bought it. It was for him for Valentine's Day, but they've since broken up.
Got to go get it.
You got to go get it?
Yeah.
Are you going over there to get it?
Yeah. I would. I mean, it depends on, if you just hate her. But I would just call, and because there's got to be a couple other things there too.
Ooh, true. So you just you make it a package deal, but in reality, all you want is the Yee apparel.
Yeah.
You got an opinion on that either way?
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, I'd
You go
tell her
get
to either drop it off or I'll come get it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Just leave it. Hey, when are you not going to be home? Leave it on your
Yeah,
leave it
yeah.
on your porch or your balcony or whatever. I'll come get it.
Is Yee Yee dating app in the works?
Yes, it's called a concert ticket to any one of my shows.
True.
It's called Support Live Music because artists need it now more than ever. Go to a dang show.
I have had so many people say they met at one of my shows. Like, hey, I'll do a cameo and it'll say, we're celebrating 2-year anniversary. We met at one of your shows, wherever. I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, because those two people, depending on what you believe in, those two people may have never met, and their paths may have never crossed ever.
Yeah, and when you're at one of my shows, good or bad, the people there are very like-minded.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a girl there, you got a lot in common with her right off the bat because she's there.
Yeah. It's funny too, there's I've seen multiple shows where there's a group of probably 40 plus people, Dan and a couple others that will just all get together 2 hours before the show and hang out, and they've all met each other through shows, which is super cool. So apps are really expensive to develop, and we're kind of focused on apparel right now, maybe in the future, but for now, just go to a show. Go to a show. Is the tree stand or the lake a better place to take my date on Valentine's Day? And I guess it kind of depends on what your end goal is here. Parker, what do you think? The tree stand or the lake?
If it's the first date, then I would go to the lake because you have something to look at. I've had a couple good first dates at a lake. You just sit there and you can just look out at the lake, especially if it's in the evening. It's nice and you can kind of talk, but you also don't feel pressured. You're not staring at each other eating dinner or anything. And then if it's second or third date and you want to just do an activity together that's not necessarily getting to know the other person, then hunting could be fun together in the tree stand.
Yeah, but you can't talk. I mean, what?
Unless it's just kind of cute and it's a nice deer stand. At our buddy's ranch, he has a tree stand, but you could literally have an entire conversation in the blind and the deer can't hear you at all. And so I guess it depends, but I guess in a tree stand, if it's that'd be a terrible day.
Tree stand.
If it was actually a tree stand, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I see the lake all day long, but the tree stand is a second, third, or not even a second. That's a fourth, fifth, sixth date. Yeah. Because you got to be quiet. You have to. It has to. I mean, it says a lot about the person because you could go into it thinking, I want to give her the attention, but she might be thinking, I'm about to find out what kind of man he is, if he's serious about this deer or not. And you could completely flop on that if you're just trying to whisper to her or talk to her, and she's thinking, I want a man that actually is focused on harvesting a deer.
Oh, true.
So just don't mess that up. That's just go to the lake.
The lake also has more room for activities. Next. What's more important this Sunday? Spending time with your girlfriend for Valentine's Day or watching Daytona with the boys? So I've got a good answer for this. The race is like early afternoon. It's usually like noon, 1. And it's the first race of the year. Daytona's huge. That's why I've always been a fan of breakfast dates. You get it out of the way early in the morning. Bacon, eggs, super easy. A little bit of French toast, some butter. And then by the time 1 p.m. rolls around, you get to watch Daytona with the boys.
I've never heard of a breakfast date.
Brunch? You heard of a brunch date?
No.
Guess I'm alone on this one.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I've just never heard of it.
Well, you could do dinner date, but then there's a chance of the race going over, and then you're going to be late to dinner. I don't know. It's Daytona.
It's a good question. I would go after. I would just get a reservation at 7:30.
Okay.
It's not going to go there, right?
No, it's not going to go that late. It shouldn't. How cheap can I go for Valentine's Day dinner for my girl? Is Taco Bell too cheap?
Okay. Yes, Taco Bell's too cheap, but the cheapest way and the best is to cook at your house.
Agreed.
It's the best. You don't have to deal with crowds or reservations or expensive drinks. And it looks way cooler on you.
Mm-hmm.
And secretly, you're also saving money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go to the grocery store and get that little surf and turf combo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's kind of expensive, but we're talking $20 as opposed to that's it. I mean, a surf and turf is like $50 or $60.
Yeah.
At a restaurant for Valentine's Day. So act like you're making it all about her and the experience and light some candles and cook. In reality, you're like, I'm saving some cash on this deal.
Well, and if you're really hell-bent on tacos, like, it's funny because Taco Bell is cheap, but if you do, obviously, maybe do something a little bit nicer in tacos. But if you do tacos at the house, now all of a sudden you're just a chef and you're doing everything that you just said. You're staying in, whatever. Taco Bell doesn't look great, but tacos at the house, that can be just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question. What do I do if my boyfriend doesn't support my Yee Yee apparel spending habit? Parker?
On to the next.
I wanted you to say it. I didn't want to be the one that said it, but yeah, he's probably a city boy.
The spending habit thing shouldn't matter at all when you're dating. At all.
That's a good point.
It's not, I mean, you don't have a joint bank account,
Yeah,
hopefully. If you do, that's another problem we need to talk about. You don't have a joint banking account that's your primary spending.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's not really their business.
No, it's not their business.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't even thought of that. All right, last one. Would it be romantic for me to get my girlfriend a bass boat for Valentine's Day?
Jeez, they're rolling in the dough.
I think that goes back to what Parker said earlier about getting someone a gift that is obviously for you. Unless she really likes to fish and she loves to go bass fishing, then buy that sucker all day, I guess.
I will say I think bass boats are really hard to find right now off the lot. Like anything else since the pandemic, so you're going to spend a lot of money. And I think it's a joke. I think the question's a joke.
I think it is too, but yeah, go ahead and buy that bass boat. You're going to spend about 20% more than what it's worth. Our last segment is our one good thing this week. Parker, you got anything good that happened this week in a world of negativity?
Nothing.
Not one good thing happened this week.
It's all going to hell.
The world's all going to hell.
Honestly, I was kind of cheating, trying to look up some good news on these. There's a goodnewsnetwork.org. And
I saw that.
There's some pretty entertaining stories on here. We're alive and breathing, man. I got nothing to complain about.
Dude, if you live in Texas, I know a lot of people don't, but man, this weather's been unbelievable. I know it's supposed to get really cold, but these past few days have been like 75 and sunny and no wind.
And we're about to get a little bit of rain, which is always good heading into the summer, even if it is still February.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like anti-vaxxers, but Johnson & Johnson is supposedly coming out with a really good vaccine. I hesitate to. I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube.
We're not monetized yet, so it's okay.
Okay, vaccine, yay! But to me, I'm looking at touring, and I'm like, man, the more vaccines, the better they are. The quicker I'm going to work, regardless.
Yeah, we got a lot of people
That's good news.
here that need jobs and need work. My one good thing is a little bit not so heavy. If you watch the Super Bowl, you saw the streaker, and streaking is officially back. I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen a streaker. It's always the best moment whenever the streaker comes on. It's funny because the TV cameras always like pan off because they're not supposed to show the streaker. They don't want to encourage it, but
which just adds more allure and mystery.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
The streaker.
Well,
like, okay,
and
who is this guy? What's he doing?
Well, and
the announcers are also talking, going, I'm like,
Exactly.
man, it's the best run all night.
And it's funny because like back 40 years ago, you're like, man, I wonder what that streaker looked like. But now I immediately get on Twitter and the streaker is everywhere. So it doesn't even matter that you don't film them anymore. But I feel like we went through a period where streakers weren't happening as often, and it just always it gets me pumped up every time I see a streaker.
Well, what I appreciate about him too is he had spirit, but he was also like not over. Like he was PG-13 stripper.
No,
I mean not stripper, streaker.
No. Well, I mean, he wasn't naked, but he had.
He just like let his buns out.
I mean, he had on lingerie.
Oh,
yeah.
Did they put shorts on him after they tackled him or something?
I mean, he had shorts on, yeah, but for the first part of his.
Does anybody know what happens to that? Now, what's the fine now?
It's really not that much, but this guy was doing it for a promotional thing. I'm not going to talk about the type of business that he was promoting because it's pretty rated R. But yeah, it was all of it was great, the streaking, until I read the story the next day of what he was promoting, and I was like, that's not so cool. But I do love to see some streakers. It's my favorite part, especially in a game that was fairly boring. I don't know. I was sitting there like starting to fall asleep, and the streaker comes on, and I've never gotten off my couch that fast just yelling for him. So
he was really athletic.
He kind of was. He put that one security guard on skates. He did a little spin move, and I was cracking up at his.
I thought
spin
he was
move.
going to try to dive into the end zone. That
I
would have
know.
been epic. He went down on the 1 yard line.
He did what a lot of running backs have refused to do the
that?
last few
Yeah.
years. He took a knee to preserve the lead, I guess, and he didn't want to
to run the clock out.
he didn't want to give the other team the ball back.
What a
I guess.
humble guy.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. Eat your veggies.